Hello, and welcome to our channel. Has the United States ever assassinated a foreign head of state or world leader? This question has taken on urgent new relevance in March 2026, following the joint U.S.-Israeli strikes that killed Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. According to CNN presidential historian Tim Naftali, this marks the first time in modern history that the U.S., openly and in partnership with Israel, has killed the sitting leader of a sovereign nation. The action shattered decades of restraint, executive orders, and international norms, opening an undeclared war with Iran and raising profound questions about American power, morality, and precedent. For context, the U.S. government long avoided direct assassinations of foreign leaders after a series of embarrassing failures, moral reckonings, and unintended blowback from CIA covert operations during the Cold War. The 1975 Church Committee, a bipartisan Senate investigation, exposed shocking details of CIA plots against leaders like Cuba's Fidel Castro, Congo's Patrice Lumumba, the Dominican Republic's Rafael Trujillo, Chile's René Schneider, and South Vietnam's Ngo Dinh Diem. These weren't isolated rogue actions. They involved high-level planning, poison pills, exploding cigars, mafia collaborations, and more. Take Fidel Castro. The Church Committee documented at least 8 serious U.S.-initiated attempts between 1960 and 1965 under the Kennedy administration. Schemes included toxic cigars, contaminated diving suits, and mob hitmen. None succeeded. Castro outlived them all, but they highlighted a willingness to target heads of state. Patrice Lumumba in the Congo. CIA officials explored poisons and access in 1960, but he was ultimately killed by local rivals in 1961, with no direct U.S. involvement in the act itself. Rafael Trujillo in the Dominican Republic. The U.S. supplied weapons to dissidents who assassinated him in 1961, though Washington later distanced itself. Ngo Dinh Diem in South Vietnam. U.S. support for a coup in 1963 led to his murder by plotters, with the Kennedy administration aware, but not directly ordering the killing. René Schneider in Chile. The CIA backed a failed kidnapping plot in 1970 that ended in his death during the attempt. These revelations shocked the nation. The Church Committee concluded that assassination was incompatible with American principles, international order, and morality. It quoted President John F. Kennedy, "We can't get into that kind of thing, or we would all be targets." CIA official Richard Helms testified against it practically. If you are going to try by this kind of means to remove a foreign leader, then who is going to take his place, and are you essentially better off? He cited Diem's killing as ultimately disadvantageous to U.S. interests. In response, 3 consecutive presidents issued bans. Gerald Ford's Executive Order 11905 in 1976 prohibited political assassinations. Jimmy Carter expanded it in 1978. Ronald Reagan's Executive Order 12333 in 1981, still in effect today, broadened the prohibition. No person employed by or acting on behalf of the United States government shall engage in, or conspire to engage in, assassination. It remains technically binding, though post-9/11 authorizations for targeted killings of terrorists created gray areas. Since then, the U.S. has killed leaders of terrorist groups: Osama bin Laden in 2011 under Obama, Qasem Soleimani in 2020 under Trump's first term, but not heads of state. When the U.S. military toppled regimes, leaders faced justice locally. Saddam Hussein hanged in Iraq after U.S.-led invasion and trial. Muammar Gaddafi killed by rebels amid NATO bombing in Libya. The U.S. has orchestrated coups. 1953 Iran, Mohammad Mosaddegh deposed, imprisoned. 1954 Guatemala, Jacobo Arbenz ousted. 1973 Chile, Salvador Allende's government overthrown, leading to a suicide. But direct killings of sitting leaders were avoided or denied. Technology shifted the landscape. Obama revolutionized drone strikes against suspected terrorists. Trump escalated targeted killings, including Soleimani. Now, Khamenei's death, via strikes on his Tehran compound, with CIA intelligence tracking his patterns, crosses into openly eliminating a head of state. Trump claimed an imminent threat and personal motive. "I got him before he got me." referencing alleged 2024 Iranian plots against him. The administration avoids assassination, framing it as self-defense against nuclear and terror threats. Critics warn of blowback, moral erosion, retaliation cycles, and precedent. As Naftali noted, few may mourn Khamenei, but making the decision to wipe out a foreign head of state should not be taken easily or quickly. The U.S. has decapitated 2 oil-rich adversaries in months. Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro captured and awaiting trial, Khamenei dead, raising questions about power projection versus stability. This moment echoes the Church Committee's warnings. Assassination invites chaos, risks escalation, and undermines principles. With EO 12333 still law, though Supreme Court immunity for official acts complicates enforcement, the U.S. has entered uncharted territory. Will this deter adversaries or invite more violence? History suggests caution. What are your thoughts? Necessary action or dangerous precedent? Drop comments below, like if this breakdown helped, subscribe for more deep dives into history and current events, and hit the bell. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay informed.
See you next time.